All right, here we are, the Donovan Sadiq Show. You guys get ready. We are about to drop it like it is hot. D, are you going to get up and do a quick? No? Well, then we won't get as many views as I thought we were going to get. A lot of stuff going on in the news. You guys heard about, what's his name? Devyn Holmes. And he was the young man that was shot on Facebook Live. And I got to say this. When they went live on these platforms, that's the worst thing that could happen in the black community. And and I'm saying that is because we do the most when it comes to we videotape our crimes, us smoking weed, just things that you would never see before. We just throw it all out there and expect nothing to happen.
Well, I would say, we do the most, but it ain't us. That's
it's not us, but I'm just saying, for somebody who holds their people accountable, I ain't worried about other people. If they want to blow their brains out and do stupid stuff, that's them. I got to worry about my people first.
Yeah, there's just a whole host of issues going on with that. But specifically, it was on early Easter morning. Devyn Holmes was in the car with Cassandra Damper and Cadillac Coleman.
Cadillac Coleman, that's his real name. Is that his street name?
I don't know if that's his government name or not, but they were actually sitting outside of a Valero gas station early Easter morning.
Damn, I got a credit card from them too.
So the surveillance camera shows them getting into the. I'm assuming it was not. I'm not assuming, but it was Devyn's car. So Cassandra and Cadillac get into the car, and they said the whole incident took place within a matter of 9 minutes.
Right. Let me break you off right there. Let's go to the video real quick, and that way you guys can see it.
I kind of don't want to show the video.
Why don't you want to show the video?
Well, only because we don't want to give it any more.
Well, no. But I'm not showing the shooting or anything. I'll just show the initial news report on it. Okay. So let's go check out the news report because, you're giving a great description, but a lot of people, they don't have, they want to see the visual for themselves and kind of see what's going on. But we're not going to show the exact shooting. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at it.
Okay.
And there we go.
Yeah. And so, as I was saying, so you guys saw in the video, to me, there was a lot going on in the video. First of all, as he said, you're making me nervous as she started to play with the gun. Now, initially, they were on Facebook Live, so they seemed like they were speaking to their audience, whoever was on at that time of night. It was 2 a.m. So whoever they were speaking to, so Cadillac, as you guys saw, he was telling somebody, no, you don't have your night clothes on, you're lying. And so then Cassandra picks it up from there and saying, well, what, and I wrote it down exactly what she said. She says, we draw down on hoes. We draw down on lying hoes. And so at that point, she's swinging a gun and then she points it toward Devyn. And then right before he grabs her hand and then right before she shoots him, he says, hey, where are you from again? Or where'd you say you're from? So to me, at that point, I believe Devyn realized that he's messed up. Because he didn't know her. Okay. At that point, it probably just all started to click. Okay, where am I at? What's going on? What are you about to do to me? Maybe in his mind, he was like, oh, shoot.
Lack of a father figure in his life.
Well, I don't know if his father was in his life or not.
Obviously, I'm going to say as a father, obviously he wasn't because a father with his wherewithal would have told his son, basically, when you're dealing with guns, I'm a military guy. If you saw the video and looked at the video, there's a thing that she did, and a lot of people that don't know anything about guns don't understand. She did a military load in a gun. And what a military load is, it loads that bullet into the thing because when you're playing with guns and you're just playing around, you ain't going to do that.
That's fine. And I don't know, like I said, because I don't know a lot about, Devyn's family dynamic, so I don't know if it's fair to say if his father was around or not.
Or any male figure that told him that.
But I also just want to go on and say there's a lot of people who have had fathers in their lives and have died from, needless gun violence.
Right, but what, I agree with you, you're wholeheartedly right, but I'm just saying anybody with their wherewithal, like I tell my sons, I tell my nieces, anybody, you don't fuck around with guns.
Right. Well, and I think also, especially with the climate that's going on with, the marches that's been going on with the students for guns and all the gun rights. And so to me, it's like you almost have to have been checked out mentally and checked out from society to not know all that's going on, around gun violence and gun reform. But to me, a lot of people are saying that is not an accident. And I tend to be on that side to say, to me, it didn't look like an accident. I would venture to say that it was probably a setup. You know what? I hope that it was an accident. It is my hope that it truly was an accident, because it's hard to believe, well, it shouldn't really be, that in this day and age, that somebody, well, any day and age rather, somebody would just cold-heartedly pull the trigger and take, well, he's still alive, he's on life support, but,
which,
potentially
he's going to be dead.
Kill somebody or maim them for the rest of their life. That's just, so I hope it was an accident.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, and I'm glad you're hoping it was an accident.
Yeah, I really do.
But when you load that clip into the thing, that's not an accident, in my opinion.
Yeah, but because they're the police, and she was saying that it was an accident. Now, people have been accidentally shot all the time. Somebody probably just got accidentally shot. It's one of those unfortunate things in regards to guns. But like I said, I hope it was an accident. I don't. To me, and I'm not an expert, forensically speaking, or any of that, but just from my, I'd say, ignorant, naked eye, it just looks like there was a little bit more to it going on.
Yeah, I really don't think it's an accident, because like I said, I have guns in my house right now. I have guns. Do you see me out here waving it and playing around with it?
Yeah, I guess we're saying accident. We're going to qualify the word accident in saying that she didn't mean to do it.
No, when you load that,
we're saying accident as far as it not being calculated.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. Like I said, to me, I could be wrong. I don't know. It didn't look like an accident, just because of the rhetoric that was going on before that. The guy in the back seat, he's speaking, but he's nervously looking around, almost like he was looking
to make sure it's clear.
Yeah. You could tell he was nervous, but almost like he was a lookout. And then then he also said, well, there's no clip in the gun. But then to your point, you saw her loaded, so it's like, or no gun in the clip or whatever it was, but it's like, well, what's this all about here? So
she put a bullet in the breech. I'm sorry, that's intentional.
I just have my doubts with that. But like I said, I hope it was an accident. But I just want to know, like, what's really going on here? Because as we just said a minute ago, all this rhetoric and I guess you should say talk around guns, especially within the last couple of weeks, since the Parkland shooting and all the other shootings. I mean, why would you be in a car 2:00 in the morning playing with a gun? And it wasn't just one gun; they had a few guns that they were playing with.
And what's the average age of these young people?
The girl is 25. I don't know how. I think the Devyn is 27-ish, give or take, and the other guy is probably around the same age.
There it is.
So, I mean, to us, they're kids, but it's like they're old enough to know better.
But if you've raised an environment that is hostile, and I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying, no matter what's going on in the white world where, oh my God, we've got to take these guns and do all this, the killings in Chicago, Los Angeles, Texas continue.
I just think, to me, I don't know if demographics probably does have something to do with it. I think accidental gun deaths, is if that's what they're calling it. It happens to everybody. There is this thing called education, though. You have to educate yourselves, and I just want to know, is because the guy who got shot, he has kids, so it's like, why are you hanging out with these two other individuals in the middle of the night and y'all playing with guns on Facebook? To me, it seems like there was other things you could have been doing. Like maybe, I don't know if you celebrate Easter, getting some Easter eggs ready for your kids. I don't know, Then you have this girl who's hanging out with these guys. She's 25. My daughter's 25. To me, that's a baby. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night playing with guns? And she's more domineering than the guys.
Menacing.
So, just more menacing. So it's just like, what's going on here?
That's our selection of women. Yeah.
Well, that's not all, but again, it's
not all.
It's not. And I'll just like to say that too, because you do hear a lot of, I've seen some comments saying, they're hood, the ghetto, and all this stuff. Listen, we don't know those people just from a Facebook post or photo. I guess one can ascertain, okay, maybe they did glorify shoes and money and all this other stuff, but I mean, that's not all women. That's
not at all.
That's just what, I mean, you got to take into account too. It's an unfortunate accident, so they say, that took place on Facebook Live in front of everybody.
Now, let me ask you this. I remember she was not arrested at the scene. They did...
no, she was arrested.
No, yeah, she was arrested, but she wasn't arrested for shooting him. She was arrested for tampering with evidence.
Right. She was trying to get rid of the gun
residue. Yeah, the gun residue off her
hands. So she was picked up.
Right.
She bonded out $2,500 bond is what she paid. So she's out now, and she's supposed to face the grand jury today.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. If that was a black man and the same exact thing happened, do you think they would have called it an accident?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Probably not. Okay. I don't know what all the police knew and know at that time. I guess we'll have to find out today after the grand jury convenes to see what they're going to do. I don't think that she should get away with potentially murdering this guy. I don't think she should get away with it. Even if it was an accident, I think she should get manslaughter. Something should happen other than... Because you ask yourself this, too. If you didn't do anything, why are you trying to get rid of the gun residue? Why not just say, oh, my God, I shot him, it was an accident.
And render aid to him.
Yeah, but you're trying to get rid of the evidence, but yet the evidence is on Facebook Live, where I don't know how many people actually saw you do it. And why were they on
Facebook Live again? They were just messing around?
I think that's what it is. They're messing around, and she's probably acting all tough and hard for the Facebook people. Now, and I don't know.
Now, let me tell you this: we talk about this all the time on your show. Now, here this young lady is in some form or fashion. She is going to face a jury of her so-called peers.
Mm-hmm. Now, Houston, Texas.
Right, it's in Houston, Texas. Now, because we don't vote and we don't want to be a part of the judicial system other than being the participants.
Right.
This is what's going to come down to that judge or that jury saying, no, it wasn't an accident. I mean, maybe it was an accident, but you see what I'm saying?
I would just say this much, though. If I was on the jury, I'm not sure, providing they presented all the evidence, and just let's go off of what we've seen so far. I'm not sure I would want to give her a pass. Okay. Now, would I want to give her Capital One? No, I mean, because it's arbitrary. I mean, there's some gray area there for whether it was an accident or not. I'm not one of those people who think that she should just totally get away with it. Like, oops.
Right, but here we are again.
Because not only that, the guy told you to stop.
Yes, but here we are again, put in a scenario where our fate and our life is put into the judicial hands of somebody else.
Then this is where I kind of switch sides with you a little bit. Okay. It's because don't put your life in the hands of, like, how hard was it for you not to be in that car at 2 a.m. playing with guns? Was that really hard for you not to do? And so at some point in time, we do have to say, okay, I know that if I play with guns, I may shoot somebody. I may shoot myself. And then after that, I may face some charges. Then I might go do a lot of time. So, like I said, those people are 25-ish, give or take. They know better.
Right. And here's a question I have. Was the gun a legally purchased gun?
I don't know.
See, now this is where I have an issue with a lot of people because, you can't take my guns. I am not for taking anybody's gun because I have a lot of guns. But my guns were purchased legally. These illegal guns that these young people have, and you wonder, how does a 16-year-old, 17-year-old person have access to these guns? I think that should also be a very pertinent fact of the case.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they'll find out if the gun was obtained legally or not. But
most likely it was.
But whether it was or is not, to me, just a gun license is not going to stop you from playing with a gun if that's what you want.
That's true, but the difference is a licensed owner is a little bit more responsible than maybe because we've heard. I mean, the guy went in Sandy Hook and shot up all those babies. He got all the guns from his parents who legally own those guns. Right. So that's why when I hear the argument about gun control and gun rights, I don't think you can impose enough laws to stop somebody who wants to go murder people. No, you're not. But what I'm saying is there's a disproportionate amount of guns in the black community. There really is.
Is there?
Yes. Statistically, we have a disproportionate amount.
Is it a disproportionate amount of guns, or is it a disproportionate amount of legal or illegal guns?
It's a disproportionate amount of guns, period.
Okay, but because I'm asking you, because I don't know a whole lot about guns, but I know that anytime I can, scroll down my Facebook feed, I can see, white people who are training their kids with guns, and
Absolutely.
their other wives have guns,
Absolutely.
and this, that, and the other, and nobody's making an argument about them having a disproportionate amount of guns. I also, because I don't have a gun, so that takes me out of it. But I think we always get caught in the argument in regards to black people having guns. As Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about, you'll never hear a campaign about turning the guns unless it's in the hood.
The hood, right.
So when I hear the term disproportionate amount of guns in the hood, it makes me wonder, well, what does that mean? Because if one day, like everybody said, it's going to be this race war, Armageddon, and all this other stuff, is there going to be a such thing as having too many guns when it comes down to that?
Right. No, I take the path of the Black Panthers. Legally obtain a gun. We have a right to have.
So that's why I asked you: is it a disproportionate amount of legal guns or disproportionate amount of illegal?
In our community in itself, we have disproportionate amount of guns, legal or illegal. There's too many guns in the black community.
Okay, so define that for me. The disproportionate amount, because when I hear disproportionate,
we have more guns in the black community than we almost have people. In the black community. What I'm saying is...
that's true for the United States.
That's true. But what I'm saying is in our community, you could be in the alley, you can find a gun. You know what I mean? There's just too many guns in our community. Well, there's not too many, but I'm just saying disproportionately, anybody can get their hands on a gun.
That's anywhere, though. You can get your hands on the gun anywhere.
But in our community, it's just too many. There's just too many. A 15-year-old, 14-year-old.
I'm trying to ask you to define too many, disproportionate amount in the hood. Because I'm not asking you to give you more time.
My idea of too many and you're right are two different things. But what I'm saying is, I could care less if they're legal or illegal. But the point is, I'm for legal gun registration. Right. And all I'm saying is, in our community, we have too many ways of these teenagers that have access to guns. If you compare us to any other race, our teenagers are packing more so than any other race, proportionately.
I don't know that to be true or not true, so I can't argue that. But this is just how my mind is working right now. And forgive me, I'm a little tired, y'all.
Yes, we were late. We were up late. We were on another show. So.
But it's like, okay, we argue, and listen, I know there's a lot of gun issues in the hood. I'm not even going to dispute that. But it's like we say that black kids have too many guns, a disproportionate amount of guns, but yet, in media wise, now this is the white on media, we see
guns in the movies everywhere.
Not even that, but we see the white kids getting guns, shooting up high schools and movie theaters and churches and stuff. Yeah. So it's like,
but when you go to suburbia, and I'm saying white people don't have guns, but you don't see the white kids walking around packing and playing that game. You see what I'm saying?
All fairness, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I don't see the black kids walking around with guns,
True.
Either. So,
but when I look at the videos or when I look at the thing,
right,
and I go in a certain neighborhood, that's the basic play.
I saw a video going around on Facebook. White boy, I think he couldn't have been no more than 15, and he's pointing the gun and he's playing with it. It was trending. He was talking about what he gonna do to black people and stuff. So it's like, I think again, this is just me. Because this is just my perception. I think we need to get away from, trying to always label black people with the negative things, because I say this, and I said this in an interview that I participated in regards to gun violence. We need to educate ourselves about guns. Let's stop telling black people in the black hood that we don't need guns.
Oh, no, I'm never going to say that.
I'm not saying you did. But we don't need as many guns and this, that, and the other. We do need guns. Guns help people.
Legally registered guns.
But we need to educate ourselves and maybe move the conversation away from, we don't need guns because just that. And we need to say we need guns because.
Yes. Like I said, I'm for everybody arming themselves, but you give the government the excuse to come in and knock heads because you have illegal guns.
Well, let's just be honest, though. To your point of the Black Panthers, we know the Black Panthers started up because of police brutality. They said we want to be able to protect ourselves, and they all legally obtained guns. And we all know that the laws were changed.
Ronald Reagan,
those black, powerful people. Power to the people. They was, running around with guns. They changed the law. So, I mean, they had guns legally.
Of course.
The issue is, since I don't even know how we got here, nobody wants black people to have guns.
Absolutely.
So, whether we have them illegally or we have them legally, nobody wants to see a bunch of armed Negroes running around with guns.
Right. Well, what I don't want to see is these young people continually destroying themselves buy these guns, be it legal or illegal.
That we agree upon.
Okay, so that's what I'm tired of.
I totally agree.
And that's kind of where that's my stance on it.
But I think the other thing too, in regards to this whole Facebook live shooting, is that I don't know. Like I said, there's just so many facets of it. But I think we need to start spending a little bit more time with our children. Because like I said, I have a daughter who's 25.
What? I gotta go to the beauty shop. I got time to spend
whatever. Spend some time with your kids, because my daughter's 25, and I couldn't imagine that I would have taught her or steered her down the path of thinking it's okay to be in a car with two other guys and y'all playing with guns.
Well,
I would just, to me, it would just.
I'm gonna have to disagree, because here's the thing. There is a phenomenon, especially in our community, where these perfectly beautiful young black girls are attracted by these thugs and that lifestyle.
Again, that goes back to, listen, I'm not saying you can save all the children, because there are some really good parents out there who have instilled great things in their children, and their children just decides to go wayward.
Yeah.
But I just really do believe it starts from home. I mean, you teach your girls to hang out with somebody, a man that you would be proud to bring home to your father.
Then how come your sister hasn't brought me home to meet Pops yet?
Maybe she's about to met somebody else in the meantime. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, we just need to start teaching them that, and not only teaching them, they have to start seeing us do that. Start hanging out with guys who are reputable, who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, like I said, I just couldn't imagine my daughter being in that car, because if that was, God forbid, me, I would be like, what did I do?
Right. But
where did I go wrong? I never taught you that was okay.
But if she was in that situation, what would be your reaction?
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
Don't worry, baby. I'm going to get you out. I'm putting the bail up.
No, I would be shocked. I would be in disbelief that
my daughter.
Well, for one, that she potentially is taking somebody's life. And then, two, that she ended up there in the first place. Yeah. Why weren't you home? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you put yourself in a situation you can't blame anyone.
But, I just kind of look at Cassandra, the girl in the video, the shooter, her whole demeanor, and just, the way she was speaking is just so harsh. And I don't know if I can apply the word
that's attractive.
Gangster, but it was just so, it was like one of the dudes, how she was talking and waving the gun. To me, it didn't look like that was the first time she had a gun in her hand.
And what does my leader, Tommy Sotomayor, says?
What does your defunct leader say?
Sometimes you can't tell these females from the dudes.
Yeah. And
the way their mannerisms is, the way they look.
That's just a whole other topic, to be honest with you, in regards to what you call femininity nowadays, or the lack thereof. I just think, black women in general, since we're speaking of black women, over time, we've taken on a persona of being tough, because in a lot of situations we've had to be tough. Yeah, for whatever reason.
But in a lot of positions, you don't have to be tough, but you do it because you're a strong, independent black woman. You bought into that bullshit.
Some of it we have bought into, but you got to, even if we go back to slavery, that was the way it was. We were conditioned to be tough and to rule over you as the black man. That's what was taught to us from the plantation. But
a black man, an alpha male and an alpha female cannot cohabitate.
Right. But that's the issue we have in our community, because
Doesn't Deanna know we're on the air?
Right. But from the time we've been brought over here, we've been told he ain't shit.
Right.
Well, you ain't shit either, but you're more shit than he is. And so we're going to constantly remind you and him that you will always be able to usurp him and tell him there ain't nothing you can do about it. So, and we just kind of carried that behavior on, in addition to some other things that have taken place throughout history. But I really believe that's partially how a lot of black women have gotten tough and maybe labeled tough. Because I know, as a black woman, or just a woman in general, I can be tough, but I know when to be tough. I know I'm tough when I have to be. That's not who I am all the time. Talking to my man all crazy and howling and cussing at the kids, and just tough all the time.
I'm going to say this, and it's true. In your genes, we know that while your mom's boyfriend was over there fighting overseas, she switched up for the betterment of her situation.
She had to do what she had to do. But I always speak to my mom about my mom, God rest her soul. Yes. My mom, I learned a lot from her. Mm-hmm. But one thing I can't really say I've ever saw her be was tough. Mm-hmm. Like tough with my dad. Mm-hmm. Just mean tough.
She stayed in her lane. She stayed in her lane.
I mean, my mom had degrees. She's a published author, writer. Mm-hmm. She was very accomplished in her life. And you don't get that way because you're soft.
Right.
But you damn sure ain't gonna get that way by being tough. And I'm thinking of another word, but I'm gonna use the word tough. Mm-hmm. There's a time and a place to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's just something that we've adopted over time. And somebody hasn't told us, maybe that somebody is you guys, as black men. And I'm not saying it's your fault.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
But somebody needs to tell us, and I know that somehow, but you don't have to be tough. Now, it's another thing to tell us and another thing to really prove it to us by stepping up and saying, I got you. Mm-hmm. I got the situation, or whatever the case is. And so, it's like I said, it's one thing to tell a black woman, you don't have to be tough. Like, well, you telling me that, but you ain't helping me.
Right.
I
hear you. And just real quick, like I said, this is Donovan Sadiq Show. We're going to talk about, a lot of people saw my video that went out a couple of days ago, and it was in regards to what is really going on in the city of Moreno Valley and voting for people that aren't for you, even though they look like you, and so on and so on and so forth. And everybody saw the video of Victoria Baca. She could not articulate one thing that she's done in District 1. Also, Adrian Mitchell Park, we are the only park that I'm aware of in the city of Moreno Valley that does not have a restroom. So because we don't have a restroom, we can't even get a porta potty. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a caveat I just gave to Victoria Baca. You can take that and run with it if you want.
Right.
Because I'm tired of seeing these kids pissing on the walls against the park and defecating behind the trees.
You've actually seen that?
I've actually seen that.
And what did you say?
What can you say? I don't want to interrupt them in between a drop.
That's nasty.
So, but that, they're basically, she doesn't give a shit about her own people.
Literally.
Literally. And so a lot of people have been asking me, why are they continuing to build hotels here in Moreno Valley? And I answered that question, and I think I answered it very honestly. And I've said this for years. You have to address the truck infrastructure before you even address any more warehouses, because we got all these warehouses, but we have no truck infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Where do they fuel? Where do they sleep? Whatever. You have long truck haulers. We're dealing with an additional 14,000 trucks a day, 25 years from now, supposedly, which we know this guy ain't going to get past the EIR. But anyway, you're building more hotels because it doesn't make sense to build hotels if you have nothing. You don't have an attraction here.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You're building. So you have long truck haulers that are coming here. They need to rest up and, do something. So they're going to be parking their big ass trucks right in front of the hotels.
Right.
Doing their thing. Now, guess what else is going to happen when they do that?
Lot lizards
and prostitution. And a lot of prostitutes don't want to go to the Momo. They want to go to the Ho-Ho.
What? The revenue? Find a way to tax it.
And, and there it is. Like I said, don't overthink what is going on here. Use your common sense. It is not hard to figure this out. We know the WLC, and a lot of us, Lila, a lot of people that were in the WLC wars, we knew the only reason this developer would go around the EIR is because he knew he couldn't pass the EIR.
Right.
So now he's been ordered to do it. That WLC is not coming here. So let's really think about what's going on. And so since we're talking about elections that are coming up, Victoria Baca, she is scared shitless to be put on a recall ballot because she knows if she's put on that recall ballot, she will be recalled. Mm-hmm. The question is, what are you going to replace her with? Another Victoria Baca?
How about you?
I would rather deal with the devil I know versus the devil I don't know.
Makes sense.
And that's my, and that's my stance. We really got to think about that. If we really want to run these people out of Moreno Valley, all you recall groups and all you friends and whatever you people are, you guys need to get together and come to a consensus to get behind one candidate. And if you don't do that, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting everybody's time.
Let me ask you, if you had to you got a choice to put somebody on the ballot, who would that be?
Well, again, you mean in the District 1?
District 1.
I don't even know if anybody that's running in District 1 right now.
Okay, how about mayor? If you could pick one person to be mayor, because that's going to,
Okay, I'm going to be honest. If I had to pick somebody, me. That's all I can tell you right now.
Okay, that's honest.
Yeah, me. Because I don't know anybody else that doesn't have I don't have an agenda other than to make the city
okay,
better.
Well, let me play devil's advocate since we got a little bit of time.
We got time
to get comfortable.
You get comfortable.
I got to get in my devil advocate.
And I'm not running for anything. We're doing a what if and a suppose. So,
okay, Mr. Sadiq.
Yes.
So we see that this is hypothetical, y'all.
Hypothetical.
You've thrown your hat into the ring.
Yes.
Why should we vote for you?
Why should you vote for me? Number one, I'm a longtime resident. Mm-hmm. And I know I've done this spill before.
I'm asking you.
Okay, I'm just telling you, I'm a longtime resident. I have a track record of getting things done in the district. And let me tell you some of the things I've done. I've rededicated Adrian Mitchell Park. I've got some street repairs done in the Edgemont area, which was unheard of before. You had council people that sat on the seat for 16 years that didn't do that. Okay. Did some veterans referendums and having a good rapport with the base commander over there, letting him know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Got crosswalks in Edgemont that never existed before. Advocated for the water and bringing up the issues of the water problem. And even when I lost my initial election, as a lot of you people know, I did not go away because those issues to me that I'm passionate about were not fixed. And that is why I'm still here today fighting. You got a lot of people that'll be like, I will fight for you and I'm going to do all these great things. Then they lose the election and you don't see them for 4 years. Then they come back. I'm back. I need your vote. And what happens when they do that? It splits the vote and the right person is not elected. I am not ego driven. I'm going to tell you this. If I got elected and a lot of the things that I wanted to accomplish, I got accomplished, I'm running one term and I'm going to go on with my life. And that was my whole spill, is to wake people up and say, I'm accountable to you. This is what I did in a 4-year period. And a lot of the stuff that I accomplished, I wasn't even on the council to do that. I pushed the council members to do what I wanted them to do.
That sounds like a pretty good campaign speech to me.
I am not running, okay? I am not running. I've been there, done that. And
that's actually pretty good. Because I know you. I know that, those things are to be true and you do personally feel that way. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. What does the perfect, or not even perfect, but what does your ideal dais look like? What do they do collectively that you would consider to be ideal? Well,
an ideal dais, number one, is not supposed to collectively agree on everything or have a popularity contest of, this and that versus this. Number one, when you're on the dais, your main job is to represent your district first.
Right.
And if your district isn't being represented and you're not bringing home the bacon to your district, you're not doing your job.
Okay.
So if I was on the dais, everything I would be saying, District 1 needs this. District 1 needs that. You're not getting my vote until District 1 gets this. It's a compromise. I'll vote for your project if District 1 gets this.
Makes sense. I mean, because if you think about it, you break down the dais, and for those who don't know who that is, which is probably really only just me.
Okay.
That's collectively all the city council people
coming together as a council. Right. I'm just sick and tired of my tax dollars that I pay in high taxation, property tax, that is going for the benefit. That's okay. It's going to the benefit of the rest of the city.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. We were the anchor of Moreno Valley, and yet we get treated like we don't exist.
The redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. We just don't exist. So it's like, how?
Right.
But yet they let this go on, and then we vote people, and then people get mad because, they get outed. And, a good example is like a LaDonna Jimson. How are you going to get mad because now people keep calling you out as a bank robber, and, what they're saying is not a lie.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think she'll run?
No. Like I said, if she's smart, she's not going to run. I think she's embarrassed her family enough.
Oh, wow.
And what I mean by, I don't mean any disrespect by that, but I don't think Jackie wanted any of that past information to come out, which it did.
Right.
And now you don't see Jackie anywhere. At least I don't see him. And I'm around the city all the time. You know, my routine hasn't changed.
Right.
And I don't see Jackie anywhere. And it's a shame because that is very embarrassing. Because as a young man or young person, we do, you know, dumb, stupid things.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that you're going to be judged by what you've done in the past. Especially if you hit it.
Right.
You know? And I know in my political time, people were trying to hit me. Oh, he's not a veteran. He's not this, not that. Come to be proven.
Well, I mean, how do you... To me, that's so silly.
It was just so silly.
Well, who goes around lying about that?
Right.
Kind of? Well, I know people do, but
right. Exactly.
Especially something that can be proven so easily.
Right. That can be proven so easy.
So. That's completely silly.
So you know that would be my idea of a perfect diet. But what we need is new blood and new ideas. Okay, when the economy was going down, you want to just make it look good and bring jobs here. Okay, you got warehouses. As we know, when you bring in the warehouses, that's a Band-Aid to a solution.
Right.
Now automation is going to come into it. Now the robots are going to come.
Right.
Then what are you going to do?
Right.
And that's what they said in a business journal that I read. Yes, the Inland Empire within California in the nation is the highest rated place to have jobs, but they never said what those jobs were. The jobs were warehousing because we're a warehouse empire. Now, $7, $8 an hour. Okay, great. Yeah, people are working.
Right.
Hispanic people are working.
Right.
That's a job. It's just a job. It's not a career. You can't buy a house off that. You could barely pay your rent off of that. And that's the problem. We need to, I think, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me am I wrong? I don't think Moreno Valley and the Inland Empire deserves warehouse jobs. Why can't we have Google? Why can't we have Boeing? Why can't we have Apple? You know, these big, real money-making things. This is California, for Christ's sakes.
Well, as I heard, I think it was Carrie Finn at one of the debates.
Yeah.
You know, she mentioned that when she talked to, I can't remember what warehouse or job was trying to come to Moreno Valley, they only wanted to put their warehouse,
right, but not the
their
headquarters.
Offices, the headquarters, because they said you guys don't have the educational tool to fulfill what we need. Basically, they were saying you guys are just worthy of a warehouse. Well,
and like I said, I live in a predominantly Hispanic community, right, and I see it changing demographic, and it doesn't bother me at all. Right. I could care less. But the facts are the facts. We have a lot of illegals living in the city of Moreno Valley. We are a sanctuary city, and these people are bringing their people, and I don't have a problem with that. But if ICE comes, you don't ask me for a reference because
if ICE come,
I don't believe in illegal immigration. I don't believe in it. So but that's how logistics works. They prey on poor Hispanic Black population. Look at the city of Stockton. Look at where you had these big warehouses. Look at the city of Industry now. Right. It looks like it's just been bombed out.
Well,
and that's where we're at.
In Stockton, they went bankrupt
a couple times. And if you look at it, they based their economy on these warehouses. And thank God Jeff Bezos has come in and put it back in there. But see, a lot of the Hispanics have moved down to Merced and these other cities to find a better lifestyle. And then the ones that are running over to the border, to get back over there, that work base is gone. And this is one of the few things that I do agree with Obama and Trump. We've got to control our borders. I don't believe in building a wall, but I believe we have to control our border. You try to sneak into Mexico illegal and see what happens to you.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. If it works over there, it should work over here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole immigration thing, that's a whole other topic as well.
So what is your thoughts on the DACA situation?
The where it's at now?
Yeah.
Didn't they say they...
it's dead on arrival.
There's nothing they can do.
Well, didn't I see you doing a jig in the street?
Why would I do a jig in the street? Why would I do a jig?
No, exactly.
But. No, well, I mean, just from a perspective of a Black person, not a minority, but a Black person... if you think about it, and I have, Hispanic friends, so I'm not saying anything bad about them or anything like that. But the more people, especially who come over here illegal, then that lessens our chances of everything.
Self-preservation, right?
Everything. So it's like, we also got to look at that way. If they come over here, we're getting replaced.
Right.
We're getting replaced and suppressed more and more and more. as Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about, he says, if anybody that should be for against illegal immigration, it should be black people, because you guys are going to be the ones that are going to suffer the most under the illegal immigration. Now, you're not even really considered African American as much as you're considered a minority. When you're a minority, you get lumped in with everybody else, the women, the gays, the lesbians, all kind of people. And so your issues don't get addressed at all by themselves. Right. But we notice everybody else's issues getting addressed. I mean, whether, DACA's dead on arrival, whatever the situation is, at least their issues got addressed. You see, you have people who are openly fighting to, end the DACA or to keep DACA, going and all the other stuff. Women, there's always something about women, this, that, and the other, gay and lesbians, they got all kind of rights. But then black people are still saying, hey,
what about us?
Didn't y'all lump us in with the minorities?
Our roving co-host Shantae says Moval doesn't have the talent pool to bring in good-paying corporate jobs. And unfortunately, that is true.
That's very true.
But what we need is a representative that can change that around and knows how to change that around. Am I going to come in here and bring Google right off the bat? No, but I'm going to bring in high-tech jobs. This developer promised to build a technical school to go with his WLC. Have you seen any groundbreaking?
Well, why not just build the school first, since that's probably
what I'm saying.
To do.
Have you seen any ground shoveling?
I haven't personally seen any, but
because he doesn't plan on doing it, and that's the problem.
It was just all smoke,
right? Yeah, but and that's another thing. We're in District 1. How many of you people have heard about the 21 dispensary shops that Victoria Baca has approved in District 1?
What do I always say, though? You know how your city council person feels about you by what they allow to be built and come up in your community.
Yeah.
I guess y'all just a bunch of weed heads.
Yeah, weed heads over here, exactly.
But that's a lot of revenue that, the city is getting. You know what? Put it over there with them. And put it over there in the gutter district.
Yeah, they're going to buy it, and then it'll benefit the rest of the city.
Exactly.
If you go up to Hidden Springs, they have their own lake up there. How did that happen?
Ain't got no weed shops over there?
Not that I'm aware of.
None?
Not that I'm aware of.
A pawn shop?
I don't think so. That's why it's called Hidden Springs, because you wouldn't know that stuff is up there.
Oh, it's hidden up over there?
It's all hidden up there. But that's what I'm saying.
Maybe they got some weed shop hiding over there.
Who knows? But my point is, when it comes to these people, just because Victoria Baca looks like, well, she doesn't look like you, because that woman is hideous.
Hold up. The views of that dude are not the views of me.
Right. Well, I'm going to say it. The bitch looks hurt.
Oh.
Okay? She looks hurt. Now, and I'm not going to disrespect my Hispanic neighbors. Okay, she might have your last sounding name. She might could speak broken Spanish and all that other good stuff, but that doesn't mean she's for you.
As we say in the black community, all folk ain't skin folk, or skin folk, or something like that. Right. Every brother ain't a brother. God dang it! That's what Public Enemy said.
Exactly. Okay. And Shantae says, why we would have to overhaul the city, and no one wants to do that. Look at how sad and poor this only looks. No one wants to make it better. They want to keep this city poor and allow the tyrant Ito to, and it's a little bit more like that, but she's on the right track, and that's what I'm saying. That's what it's going to take. It's going to hurt initially, but it's going to take a revolutionary move to make these decisions.
Right.
And until you bring District 1 up to the standards of the other districts, Victoria Baca, she's the one that cut the police force, that increased the crime in Moreno Valley. Now she's talking about she's for the police force.
Well, maybe this next time around she's going to do what she's supposed to do. Third time's the charm.
Do you live here?
No.
Oh, yeah. See? Smart woman. She doesn't
I live in Riverside, and we don't have quite those
issues. But we are almost as big as you guys are, and we only have a police force of 35 people.
Well, our mayor, he don't take no mess. Okay?
Exactly. He's suing
the city over there, the city manager's salary. Exactly.
Okay? So he's on the right track. But again, we got a lot of issues with that. Please tune in to my thing. I'm going to be putting up videos. Things are getting hot. We have people running that, don't get me wrong, you have every right to run. But if you really want to win this race, if you split that vote, you have no chance of running. You guys need to come together, and that's the only way you're going to beat big money. And, that's what I got to say on this one. But in the second hour, we're going to go in and bring up some other stuff for you guys. You guys just stand by. We're going to get back to that, and I want to remember, and also a quick announcement. I'm sorry. We're going to have on April 9th, we're having a golf course meeting at the clubhouse on April 9th, and I believe it's at 7 p.m. And this is going to address the golf course on the east side of the city. Very important as an update of what's going on. We have a Boys and Girls Club that's at stake, a church, and a golf course. And I think it's important that you guys be there and support this and see what's going on. We'll get back to you guys in the second hour. Please stand by.